Good morning, everyone. Today's class is about alcohol and drug dependence. So, in this class, we will see what are the different types of dependence producing drugs and how you prevent this, and what are the host factors, environmental factors, and the agent factors which contribute for this dependence, and also we'll see the treatment and rehabilitation. Moving on, we'll see few definitions. So in this class we need to know what is drug and what is drug abuse. Okay. So drug is defined as any substance when taken into the living organism may modify one or more of its functions. This definition is by WHO. So any substance when it is taken by an living organism, whether it will produce any type of reaction or any type of modification in its normal body functions. Okay, that is what drug means. So it is a substance when taken into the living organism may modify one or more of its functions. Okay, so what is drug abuse? So anything which we take excessively or increase in frequency or quantity, it may affect the normal functioning of the body. Okay, so drug abuse is defined as a self administration of a drug for non-medical reasons in quantities and frequencies which may impair an individual's ability to function effectively and which may result in social, physical and emotional harm. So as I told you before, so it can result in any type of defects in the body. Either it can be social, physical or emotional. So what is drug dependence? We know there are different types of drugs. We know there is alcohol, tobacco, which is very common is alcohol and tobacco in most of the countries. And we know there is opioids and barbiturates and so many cocaine, heroin, so many things. Okay, so when you call there is a dependence. Okay, so dependence is a state that it is a kind of psychic state. Sometimes also it can lead to a physical state resulting from interaction between a living organism and a drug. So it is characterized by behavioral and other response that includes a compulsion to take the drug on a continuous or periodic basis in order to experience its psychic effect and sometimes to avoid the discomfort of its absence. A person may be dependent upon more than one drug. So when anybody taking a drug on a to prevent some kind of psychic or for example, if a person is anxious, he might take anti-anxiety drugs, right? So it for a long period of time it created a dependence. That means if he gets a confidence only when he takes a drug. Okay, so this may affect his psychological as well as physical aspect of his life. Okay, so that is how a person becomes a dependent person. So to avoid such kind of situation, the person will be start taking the drug. Okay, so that state is known as drug dependence. So here we will see what are the different types of factors which contributes for this dependency. So here we divided the factors into agent factors, host factors and environment factors. So in agent factors, agent is nothing but the dependence producing drugs. Okay, it can be alcohol, tobacco, opioids, sedatives or cocaine, heroin, etc. Okay, whereas these type of drugs, when you take for a long period of time, it may produce dependency. Okay, so what are the other factors which also contribute other than the agent is host and environment factors. In case of host factors, it is nothing but an individual's state. Okay, so it can be due to the uh, pleasure in some individuals, or it may be to it may be in some individuals there might be uh, a point where there will be to experience in such situations, like we for such individuals, like how this alcohol taste, or how you what kind of pleasure you get while you smoke, or what kind of pleasure or adventure you will experience while you uh, while you take cocaine or heroin or LSD or something like that. Okay, so it is host factors that a person have a sense of adventure, or he wants to know what kind of the curiosity or inquisitive uh, behavior in a person. It may be one of the reason to end up in dependency or addiction. Okay. uh, Other than that, maybe due to some kind of medical reasons, or to prevent some kind of medical reasons, they might start taking, then they'll end up in dependency. It can be another factors. Okay. Or any person who has some kind of discomfort, or maybe he shows some kind of symptoms like psychological symptoms, then he takes up the drugs. Then even if a doctor or anybody who tell them to stop, but since he is not stopping, he is continuously taking the drug, ending up in dependency. Okay, these are the host factors which we discussed. Other than the host factors, there are other contributing factors, environment factors. So in environment factor, it can be due to the state, like maybe in minor, like in school going children or adolescent. These are the time where children will be uh, due to peer group pressure, they will be having they will feel that this taking this drug, they make more strong, or something like very strong person, or he has a courage or confidence level to increase the confidence level, or to boost the courage in a person. That might be a reason in youngsters, or any type of unemployment in a person, or staying away from the family, or there is no parental care to a child. So these are the many reasons which may in the environment, this may contribute for dependency. Okay. So these are the agents which cause dependency. That is most commonly we have alcohol, then opioids, cannabinoids, sedatives, cocaine, other stimulants including caffeine, hallucinogens, tobacco is another common, very common, and volatile solvents, other psychoactive substances, and drugs from different classes. So here we'll discuss some different types of drugs which produce dependency. Uh, in that, few drugs I have included. Amphetamine, it is a drug which used to treat obesity, mild depression, and also narcolepsy, and certain other behavioral disorders in children, like mood elevation and increased alertness and sense of heightened awareness. So it is also known as Superman drugs. So as I told you, this used as a to treat various condition, but it is taken when a person is taken excessively, when increase in quantity, this may cause dependency. Okay, so above 10 to 13 milligrams per day, if a person takes for a long period of time for a chronic condition or something, then it may cause dependency. And another substance which causes dependence is cocaine. Cocaine is derived from cocoa plant. It is used in medical practice for as a local anesthetic because it is a CNS stimulant. Okay, and it has a sense of excitement, heightenedness, and distorted awareness and hallucination. But it doesn't cause much of tolerance, or there is no physical dependence or withdrawal symptoms. But per se, it is still used. It is used in many countries, but very common in Bolivia and Peru in South America. But that is the chewing of cocoa leaves, cocoa leaves. Okay. Next is cannabis. Cannabis is also a very widely used drug today, and it is from it is obtained from plants like Cannabis sativa, Cannabis indica, and Cannabis americana. So the dried leaves and flowering shoots are also called as hashish. It is very commonly used and in USA. And the term used in USA is marijuana. And other drug which is used is barbiturates and heroin and LSD. So barbiturates are sedatives, whereas heroin, morphine, codeine, methadone are narcotic analgesics, where LSD is it is a psychotogenic agent. Okay, it is also known as lysergic acid diethylamide. Okay, moving on. So we'll see the important aspect of this class, that is alcohol dependency, and also other type of how do you prevent alcohol dependence and tobacco. These are the two major substance abuse in major countries like India, Nepal, and also Bangladesh and all. So we'll see what is alcohol. Alcohol. So alcohol is considered as a drug, and it may be classified as a sedative, tranquilizer, and hypnotic or anesthetic, depending on upon the quantity consumed. So basically, it is considered as a drug. Okay, but when the amount and frequency increase, it is classified into different type like sedatives or hypnotic or anesthetics. So we know that where there are so many harmful effects of alcohol, and it can cause deaths due to intoxication. Okay, so there is acute as well as chronic intoxication, liver cirrhosis, carcinomas, pancreatitis, cardiomyopathy. So these are the various harmful effects of alcohol consumption in chronic basis. Okay, so other than physical, there is also social as well as psychological problems due to alcohol. That is domestic violence. There is increased domestic violence who consume alcohol, and contribution to poverty. There will be the person who is taking alcohol. He won't be regular in work, or he might be having family issues. So uh, and also there is high risk of sexual behavior and other sexually transmitted disease also. So we know that it is one of the major cause of DALI, that is disability adjusted life years. And also alcohol consumption is one of the major cause for increase in death and other kind of diseases. We all know that it has a it has a it has an effect on CNS. It is not a stimulant. It is not believed as a stimulant, but as a it is known as a depressant, and it causes psychic dependency. So these are the 2 points you should be knowing. It causes dependency, but it is not a stimulant. So moving. So as I told you, it is a psychic dependence of varying degrees from mild to strong. Physical dependence develops slowly. That is withdrawal due to withdrawal symptoms. That is after chronic use of alcohol, there will be physical dependency. Okay. According to current concept, alcoholism is considered as a disease, and alcohol is a disease agent. Okay. Alcohol can cause cancer of mouth, pharynx, larynx, and esophagus. Well, alcohol is an important ideological factor in suicide and automobile and other accidents and injuries, death due to violence. So it is one of the major contributor for the social destruction. Health problems for which alcohol is responsible are only part of the total social damage, which include family disorganization, crime, and loss of productivity. So coming to tobacco, we all know it is another widely used substance, uh, and tobacco it can be in the form of it is legal everywhere, and it can be in the form of smoking or any other form like consumption, like eating. Okay, so it is a legal use everywhere in the world. uh, it can cause more death compared to other psychoactive substances. About 7 million premature deaths per year are already due to tobacco smoking. Okay, or it can be another type of disease which is due to tobacco are myocardial infarction, peptic ulcer, stroke, and aneurysms are very common. And among the younger age group who smoke, they shows a like early onset of shortness of breath and exertion and then myocardial infarction compared to the older who are the chronic users, where the chronic users will be having like COPD like symptoms like bronchitis, emphysema, and also they'll have lung cancers. So it is we have to see the adolescent age group, where the adolescent age groups are more prone for this smoking and smoking related diseases, where due to peer group pressure. For example, anyone like or any of his friend is smoking, he wants to try what is smoking, and finally he end up in a chain smoker. And also we can also see that like alcohol, both men and women consume. Smoking is also both uh, it is consumed by both women is also involved in tobacco smoking. And there are so many other pregnancy related complication due to smoking, like intrauterine growth and low birth weight babies, intrauterine growth retardation, and premature babies, and also abortion, increase in the abortion also can these are the major problems. And uh, we should also know what is passive smoking. Passive smoking is also known as secondhand smoking, where the person the smoking person who infect the who harm the other sorry who harm the other non-smoker. So it is a second-hand tobacco smoke in the combination of smoke emitted from a burning end of a cigarette or other tobacco products and smoked or exhaled by the uh, non-smoker. Okay, so that is about passive smoking. So a variety of smokeless tobacco products are also consumed. As I told you, other than smoking, there can be pan masala, gutka, which is chewable or eatable, and it is mixed with lime, tobacco, and it is chewed. And it is most commonly seen in India, Bangladesh, and Bhutan, Nepal, and also in Myanmar. And there, like when we see in withdrawal symptoms in alcohol, there can be withdrawal symptoms of smoking. That is include irritability, anxiety, craving, sleep problems, headache, tremors, and lethargy. So these are the withdrawal symptoms due to smoking. And withdrawal symptoms may continue for about 4 to 6 weeks, and craving may continue for many months. So we can see that people who has we have seen different types of substitutes for smoking, like nicotine chewing gums are available nowadays. So these are substances which can prevent this type of craving or withdrawal symptoms, so that they can come out of this substance abuse. Another type of dependence we encounter are the volatile solvents and caffeine. They're very commonly seen in many parts of our country, like volatile solvents like glue, petrol. So many people are very fond of this. They used to smell this, and that becomes an addiction for them. So this for a long period, if you smell or uh, it can cause stimulation in the central nervous system and produce so many effects, like in case of other substances. So it can cause confusion, disorientation, and ataxia. And some of the substances like petrol and toluene may also produce marked euphoria and grandiosity. There are so many mental health problems like delusion, hallucination, and substantial loss of self-control are due to this volatile solvents. And another very common substance abuse we can see due to caffeine. We all are drinking coffee, uh, tea every day. So this is kind of an addiction for us, right? So this where tea, coffee contain caffeine. It is one of the most commonly used. About 10 billion people of coffee are consumed yearly throughout the world. So tea, cocoa, and cola drinks are contribute to an intake of caffeine that is often. Okay. Uh, Coming to the host factors. So, as I told you before, why we are taking, why a person will take this kind of drug? It may be due to attain some kind of pleasure, or for experiment among adolescents and all. They majorly take this type of drugs due to experiment. What will happen if I drink or if I smoke? That kind of an attitude of a person uh, make him a drug abuser or alcohol dependent. So, so these are the host factors which contribute to dependency. That is pleasure, desire to experiment, sense of adventure, wish for self-knowledge, and desire to escape. And increasingly, people are unwilling to accept even minor discomforts, are looking to drugs for solution. So, any type of minor discomfort in their life, or any type of problems in their life, they tend to go for this type of substances. So that this can produce some stimulation or CNS depression, so that they will forget about the things and they will move on. That is what many people does while drinking alcohol. They feel that this that is whatever happened in his life, it is not at all affecting him, because he is not even thinking, because his central nervous system, it is not at all not at all affected by the fact. So these are the type of substances uh, which can modify a person, so that the person used to tend to take all those substances. Okay. In recent years, we know that multiple drug is also become more common, like alcohol and cocaine, or tobacco, alcohol, all those things like together people are taking. So this will have a very bad adverse effect um, in a person's body. Okay, so uh, coming to we'll see what are the different symptoms of drug addiction. So, coming to the symptoms of drug addiction, there will be loss of interest, mainly daily activities. The patient will be lethargic and loss of appetite, body weight. There will be a sudden decrease in the body weight, and they won't be having a constant thought. Like they'll be they're disoriented to time, place, and person. There will be unsteady gait, clumsy movements, tremors, puffiness in the eyes, unclear vision, slurring of speech. These are very common with the alcohol. Okay, fresh numerous injection due to cocaine or heroin, there will be injection marks will be there, and there can be nausea, vomiting, body pain, drowsiness or sleepiness. As I told you, very lethargic. After drinking or consumption of alcohol, the person will be very lethargic. They can't do any work, and this may be another factor which can contribute to psychiatric disorders. And other psychiatric disorders we see with the addiction are anxiety, depression, sweating, mood changes, trauma, tantrums, and depersonalization and emotional detachment, impaired memory and concentration. So these are the few other symptoms of drug addiction. And we also can see the presence of needles or syringe in his pocket, or needles marks in his hand. Coming to the environmental factors. So as I told you, there are so many factors like agent factors, force factors, and environmental factors. Among the environmental factors, drug dependence may be due to if a person who is not studying from the college itself, when he is a teenager, any if a person is not going to school or leaving the school early due to familial problems or migration, these are the most common factors. And in case of adults, there will be unemployment or any type of failure in his life can make him addict to some of the other drugs. So we should be ensuring the person, if there is any failure in his life or anything, he should get a counsel rather than getting into a drug or any type of substances. So these are the factors: migration to the cities, unemployment, relaxed parental control from a family, so early exposure to drugs, leaving school early, broken home, and also parental parent family, large urban environment where there is drugs and all those things are very common. So how do you prevent drug abuse? So as I told you, it is not a single-handed approach. There should be legal approach, community approach, and also educational approach. So we'll see one by one. In case of legal approach, we need a proper policies, like how these drugs are manufactured, where these drugs are manufactured, how it is controlled, and how it is marketed. So if there is a control in all those aspects, there will be control in the consumption also. So there should be a legal control on distribution of drugs. That is very important. And partial restriction also make a drug completely unavailable. That can only be done by the government. So there should be a legislation that may direct and control the manufacture, distribution, and prescription, price, and time of sale or consumption of substances. So this is about the legal approach. And also there are few points regarding legal approach. Like for example, if you are taking tobacco, prohibition of the sale of tobacco products to minors should be a major point. And also there should be a restriction on sale of cigarettes from automatic vending machines. There should be proper prohibition of smoking in schools and other places where the young people are in and around. And there should be prohibition of smoking in public area, prohibition of cigarette advertising at times and in places and ways calculated to ensure its maximum impact on adolescents. So, as it is mentioned, mainly if the legislation starts at the uh, uh, um, mainly addressing to the minors or the adolescent people, then it can be prevented uh, very easily. Establishment of mandatory public health education of health consequences of smoking, insisting on placing of mandatory health warning on cigarette packets. Coming to the educational approach, um, So how do you prevent? Uh, Mainly in schools and all, we have to educate them what are the drug-related problems and how a person or a child should, where he should get a help, any helpline numbers or any if there is a in family any person who is addicted, how where he should contact and how to go about, all those things should be taught in the school. And there should be increase in the awareness in the school regarding the harmful effects, as well as information about the drug abuse and what are the problems. Coming to the community approach, uh, the non-medical use of drugs individually as well as the mass appearance. So in community, so there will be a complex interaction of drug, man, and its environment. So there will be social problems, economic problems, and also the cultural problems. Okay, there should be a proper action at the community level to prevent drug abuse. So it can be prevention in the community. So it can be by health awareness programs, cultural programs, which mainly tells about the harmful effects of alcohol consumption, and any political program that mainly focus on the drug abuse or tobacco abuse. Okay, and adolescent health. So mainly there should be a action plan at the primary health centers or community health centers for that, like how to prevent alcohol abuse or drug abuse in children or adolescent uh, children, teenagers. Okay, so they mainly this community approach mainly focus should have a main focus towards them. Coming to the treatment of drug dependency, so before treating such kind of dependency, the person should have at least minimum motivation to undergo the treatment. Otherwise, mostly the people like alcoholics, tend to deny that their consumption is abnormal. And another part is that they won't completely agree that it is their habit. Okay, so first thing to start a detoxification is the uh, like motivation. It should come from the person itself. Okay, so long term treatment is not only a medical problem but needs the cooperation of the psychologist and sociologist, because there is a high relapse rate with all the treatment methods. So there should be a hand in hand approach. Identification of the drug addict and their motivation for detoxification is the first step in all the treatment. And detoxification require hospitalized detoxification and post detoxification counseling and follow up and rehabilitation. These are the steps. After the detoxification, there should be counseling and also follow up based on the clinical or home visit. It can be, and final step is the rehabilitation. So in rehabilitation, there is adoption of a mature and realistic attitude by the local community and the avoidance of panic, moral contamination, and discrimination. So, basic thing is there should not be any problems within the community. The patient should not face any type of social problems or any type of discrimination. And there should be a proper training after the rehabilitation, like for the opportunities for work, uh, and it should also be rehabilitation mainly focused to prevent the relapse. So the treatment should be like continuous treatment. There should be proper registration, diagnosis, aftercare, and the because it can relapse, right? any time this can the person can start the addiction. So there should be healthcare workers, psychologists, and sociologists. So these people will be, if any such problems in a person's life, that he will tend to turn into this dependency, he or she should consult a psychologist first. Okay, thank you.